Heroes of the Republic, defenders of light and life, keepers of the peace. Those are just some of the many names that the Jedi have, and they are all well deserved, right? I mean, they literally give and dedicate their lives to protect the people of the Republic and destroy the dark side. And so with that logic, you would assume that they are the good guys, right? Well, what if I were to tell you that it's not the case? Well, yes, in the Star Wars universe, they are technically the good guys, and most of the time do good things. Are they really the good guys? To truly analyze whether the Jedi were good, we must define what good and a good person actually mean, as these concepts are much more complex than they first appear. For the word good, two useful definitions are having the qualities acquired for a particular role, and someone or something that is efficient, useful, healthy, strong, happy, or skilled. And on the other hand, defining a good person is far more abstract. The most comprehensive definition for something like this is someone who exhibits positive qualities such as kindness, honesty, compassion, integrity, and a genuine concern for others, often acting with the intention of doing good and positively contributing to the lives of others. The Jedi might seem, at first glance, to check all of these boxes. They are compassionate, skilled, and dedicated peacekeepers. But when we scrutinize their actions more closely, especially during the Clone Wars, a troubling pattern emerges. The Jedi, as an organization, have indeed performed countless acts of heroism, protecting the galaxy from threats and upholding justice. However, there is undeniable instances where their actions or inactions raise significant questions about their morality. Take, for example, the Jedi's refusal to aid certain planets purely because those worlds were not aligned with the Republic or on good terms with them. One notable example of this is the planet of Sereno, when the Jedi refused to intervene when the people were being attacked by pirates, due to issues like unpaid taxes, which, I mean, come on, who actually does those? Just kidding, government, I love taxes! It was only when Count Dooku defied the Jedi's directives that the people of Sereno received the help that they desperately needed. A similar situation unfolded on Raxus, where the Republic and Jedi left the planet in ruins, indifferent to the suffering of its citizens. Again, it was Dooku who stepped in to make a difference, ironically painting the future Sith Lord as more compassionate than the so-called Guardians of Peace and Justice. But why did the Jedi so often abandon these worlds? The answer actually lies with their interconnection with the Senate, which controlled the Republic and by extension, the Jedi Order. The political entanglement severely limited the Jedi's ability to act independently. Under the rule of the Republic, corruption, pirates, and even slavery flourished under the Senate's oversight, leaving the Jedi bound by red tape. Take Tatooine, for example. This Outer Rim world was riddled with crime and corruption, and was also well known for its suffering. Anakin himself grew up in slavery there, and his mother, Shmi Skywalker, would ultimately die due to this lawlessness. While many of you may argue that is because Tatooine was outside of Republic jurisdiction, the Jedi were actually fully aware of the conditions on the planet, yet they choose to do nothing, shackled by their obligations to follow the Senate's directives. And even when it's later revealed that the Jedi tried to do something about this but was stopped by the Senate, it only reinforces the fact that the Jedi care more about their political view than the people of the galaxy. The dependence on the Senate wasn't always the case, however. During the High Republic era, the Jedi were far more proactive. They spearheaded initiatives like Starlight Beacon, extending aid and peacekeeping into the Outer Rim. This golden age showed what the Jedi were truly capable of when they prioritized the galaxy's well-being over politics. Unfortunately, by the time of the Clone Wars, the Jedi allowed themselves to become so entangled with the Republic that they often prioritized loyalty to the Senate over compassion for the galaxy's inhabitants, to the point of where they wouldn't even help the most desperate of people or planets, or if the Jedi had a vision about something bad happening, say someone close to them dying or a planet being completely devastated, which yes, are both real examples, the Jedi Council would often dismiss these worries and wouldn't act on it until it was too late. And then there's the Jedi Code itself. While the code was meant to guide the Jedi in living virtuous lives, their rigid interpretation of its tenets became a serious problem. Take the first line: "There is no emotion, there is peace." In theory, this emphasizes the importance of self-control, but in practice, the Jedi interpreted this into meaning purging themselves of all emotions. Compassion and empathy are critical traits for peacekeepers, yet the Jedi suppressed all of these emotions and often made them distant and detached. How can one truly serve others without understanding their struggles on a personal level? Some might argue that these flaws were symmetric and that the individual Jedi could still embody the ideals of the Jedi, and that individual Jedi could still embody the ideals of the Order. However, even on an individual level, many Jedi fall short. Their hubris was a significant factor in their downfall. During the Clone Wars, the Jedi believed themselves to be invincible. For over 1,000 years, they maintained peace throughout the galaxy, and this success bred arrogance. And when Qui-Gon Jinn reported the return of the Sith in The Phantom Menace, the Council dismissed this possibility outright. The Sith's apparent extinction blinded them to the warning signs, leaving them vulnerable to Palpatine's ultimate plan. This is not to say that the Jedi were evil. Far from it. They were heroes in many aspects. But by the time of the Clone Wars, they were shadows of what they once were, or what they could have been. They had become warriors rather than peacekeepers, generals rather than diplomats. Their entanglement with politics and their rigid dogmatic views made them inefficient in addressing the galaxy's true needs. And when we look at things like Luke's Jedi Order in Legends, Luke recognizes the flaws of the old order and sought to correct them. He didn't forbid emotions, but instead taught his students how to understand and control them. Love, passion, and attachments were not seen as weaknesses, but as powerful forces that, when harnessed, could inspire great strength. Luke's Jedi Order was far more flexible, more compassionate, and ultimately more in line with what the Jedi were meant to be. In the end, the Jedi of Luke's era represent the true ideals of the Order, not the dogmatic, politically entangled Jedi of the Clone Wars. The tragedy of Darth Plagueis, wrong script, the tragedy of the Jedi lie not in their failure to do good things, but in how they have strayed far from the path of what they were meant to be. They were a symbol of hope, yet their flaws allowed darkness to fester and take root in the galaxy. If nothing else, their story serves as a cautionary tale. Even the most noble of institutions can fall if they lose sight of their purpose. Good people or not, the Jedi were far from perfect. However, I should say this one more time. I personally believe that the Jedi are inherently good. It's just that over time their ideals got twisted and warped. But anyway, I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, make sure to like and subscribe as it would help the channel out a ton. And also, make sure to comment your thoughts about the video down below. And with that, my fellow Star Wars nerds, may the Force be with you.